One of my seminary teachers once defined the priest as the doctor of the soul. I like the definition. It focuses the ministry and the life of the priest in the right place, not on the jobs or the work or the activity as much as on people and their relationship with Christ. The priest is the doctor of the soul. Many of the challenges that people have in life, or the problems or the illness, are quickly diagnosed as illnesses of the body or of the spirit or of the mind. But the soul, the relationship with Christ, can be right at the heart of human health. If our relationship with Christ is healthy and is in harmony, many other things, physical and emotional, can fall into place. Very often it's our understanding of God that's the problem. I've reflected on this in an earlier video reflection. God is not simply another human being. God is different, and God's ways are much more loving than our human ways could ever be. And also the work of a relationship with God is not primarily our human work. It's not what we do. It is the work, the action of God. And the point I want to make today is in relation to our prayer. We think very often that prayer is what we do. Prayer are the formal prayers that I say. Prayer is the conversation that I have with God. Prayer is when I ask God for things or when I thank God for things. But I invite you to take a complete shift in understanding there and to see prayer primarily as God's work, as God's activity. Now, God doesn't force this activity or this relationship on us. God waits until we experience and express a desire. Now, that desire for relationship with God is already planted there in us by God. That's already the activity of God. The initial activity is God's. But the prayer is not our work. It's simply our staying with the desire. And that means that very often when we take 2 or 3 or 5 minutes, as we have been throughout this Advent, to pray, we get distracted. Our mind is all over the place. We can't focus or concentrate, and that is a problem for us. It's not a problem at all for God. When we are still and silent, simply sitting with our desire for much more than human activity, human work, or human relationships can bring us, when we sit with that desire for something beyond that we know in some way to be about the life of God, then God responds. And we very often, in ways that we notice, experience that response of God. Now, I'm not asking you to believe me in this, but I am suggesting that you test what I'm saying by trying it yourselves, simply taking time to be still and silent, aware of your own reality as we've reflected so much during this Advent already, and knowing that prayer is not our work. Prayer is not what we do or what I say. Prayer is the activity of God, who, like the loving parent, is always trying to give the children, the adult children in our case, everything that we need for our health and happiness, not only here on earth, but also for eternity.